Hey, what's up? It's Fanu here, having a little Sunday studio session, or actually this is my living room slash kitchen. It's more of a creative space. My actual mastering and mixing studio is just the other room. But I thought that because I've been promising like a masterclass video for a long time, I never get around to doing it. I thought that I might actually just do shorter videos about this and that, like stuff that I do in my music, like the little tips and tricks and whatever. So yeah, let's do this. Let's call this part one. Today I wanted to be talking about a few things real quick, and show some tools and cool stuff that I use and do. Let's listen to a beat that I started working on today. Yeah, so the first thing that I wanted to be talking about is this sampler here. It's by TAL. TAL has been giving out free stuff for so many years, and some years ago he put out a sampler, which is great if you like to get a little dirty, because you have the resampler module that lets you shape the sound a little bit. Like here I can pull the sample rate down on the break. Because I like my breaks kind of dirty most of the time, and you can even go for Akai S1000 resampler and listen to the saturation here. So it's roasting it, and the filter is good. So definitely, if you don't like to make your music very clean, definitely check out TAL Sampler, and you might actually like it. What I often do is I chop up my drums and I drop the chops in here in this view, and it automatically maps them, and you don't really have to do much. I usually I usually do reverse looping on my drum sounds to give them a little length. Like, well, not doing it here, but usually if I have a very short drum sound, like here, well, there's a click here, but fuck that shit. Don't pay any attention to it. But the point is looping this drum sound here. I usually give them length by doing ping pong loop, because without it, if I didn't have a loop, it would be just like really short. So ping pong loop. TAL implemented it here, probably because I asked him to do it very nicely, and he did it. So that's one thing. Definitely check out TAL Sampler. It sounds great. Try running an 808 through it, and it's just roasted with the different DAC types and mess with the settings. So that's one thing for today. I don't want to make it super long. But one thing also was because I was messing with this break. It's taken a little work, definitely. Let's listen to the break alone. It probably sounds a little harsh, but the thing is, sometimes when I'm working with old breaks, it's very hard to put the high frequency energy in there. And I'm even still, every now and then, I'm reminding myself this one little trick. I know it's super obvious, but still, listen to when I bring this track in. You hear it? You're probably gonna need headphones to hear it, but what I'm doing sometimes when I'm working on old breaks and I just cannot squeeze the high frequency energy out of it without making it sort of forced and unnatural, is I layer a hi-hat, like a contemporary bright hi-hat underneath the break. So it will bring the energy that is often lacking in old drum breaks. Some are good, of course, like Amen is great, but sometimes like this one, I've been EQing it a whole lot, but sometimes you have to have the contemporary high energy, and as simple as it is, I still forget this sometimes, and I find myself EQing a break for hours and hours. I'm like, fuck, I cannot bring the energy there, and then I'm just like, yeah, hey, pull up a little hi-hat or a cymbal, and there it is, because it does so much to the energy. Yeah, there it is. And one thing I wanted to be talking to you about is this plugin called Soothe. Let's take a look at this bad boy. I'll solo the drum track. So Soothe is a dynamic resonance suppressor. I think that's the word that the developer uses of it. So in all simplicity, it takes out a lot of the high, mid, nasty resonances out of the sound. And here you basically control the intensity of the plugin. And you can listen to only the processed stuff in delta mode. So you're hearing how much and what is being taken out. And you can also control specific like threshold of certain frequency ranges. Like you can tell the plugin, like here you should pay more attention to this frequency range. But this is something that I use with old recordings a lot, because, well, I do use it with everything a little bit. But because some old funk breaks are often very resonant, which in a way gives them their tone, but still there is some stuff that you want to cut out. And trust me when I say this, this is by far the best thing in taking out the resonances. So definitely give it a try. And one last thing for today. Let's listen to the bass here. Also look at the EQ. Look at this one. So I've created this bass with Serum. It's a very simple boom kind of bass, and I'm using limitless limiter in clipping mode to give it some nasty presence that I like. The reason I love electronic music is a lot of its nature is due to abusing things. So first, listen to what happens to the sound when I clip it. This is without it. Yeah, fair enough. You're getting some sub. Listen to it limited, or clipped. That's amazing. But the one thing that I don't like, what happens here if I don't do something with the EQ, is because I don't want the sub, or let's say the harmonics. Let's actually take a look at the harmonics here. Let me solo the bass, sorry. So I don't like the harmonics. I don't want them to clash with my kick, because I want to give the kick a little space, and sometimes the initial like wow takes a whole lot of energy and attention, and I want to cut that out. So once again, a really simple trick, what I'm doing is I'm controlling the EQ on the frequency range that I want to take out. So if you take a look here, when the bass comes in, I'm cutting it. Like when it's down, it means it's cutting it. So let's listen and take a look, so you will probably understand. So when the bass hits, it cuts out the frequency range where I want to make some space. And when the bass sort of fades out, it boosts it. So you'll get the tail and the nature of the sound. because let me turn the EQ off. Actually, fuck, it was off. Listen to the later bass sounds, because the first bass, when the first bass sound comes in, it's tamed, and the rest of them don't do the EQ cutting. So listen to how much bass they take, and I don't like it. Then, yeah, that's too much. Yeah, so that's it. Hell yeah. So that's a few thoughts for today. I will probably try to make more of these, because I find it hard to find time to do a masterclass, but I'm messing with music all the time. So yeah, I hope this helps. If you have any comments, just holler, and I'll holler back at you. Keep productive. Rock it.